Welcome to the Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs podcast, a place for podcasters to learn what's actually working in the world of podcasting and how to use their podcast to generate consistent leads in their business. I'm your host, Jenny, and I'm so excited you're here. Hey, Savvies. Welcome back to another episode of Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs. So today I'm going to be chatting with you guys about if you should have transcripts for your podcast or not. But before we dive in, I wanted to mention my free podcast submission checklist because I think it's absolutely essential for anyone who's yet to launch their podcast and needs a step-by-step kind of checklist of everything that they need to do prior to launching. So if you're in that boat and you want to launch soon, but you haven't done it yet, you can grab the free checklist at savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com/checklist. And yeah, you'll get the checklist right in your inbox. So let's get into the episode. So this episode is really for people who are either brand new to the podcasting world and haven't yet launched, or they've been podcasting for a little bit and haven't utilized transcripts yet, but want to know if it's something that they need to add going forward. So this is actually a question I get frequently in my Instagram DMs and on Clubhouse. So I figured that I would answer it here in an episode for those of you who are just podcast listeners and don't follow me on other avenues. So my short answer here is yes, transcripts are super beneficial to your podcast, but I'm going to share some actual real reasons why and explain why it's good, not just say, yes, you need it, but actual tangible reasons why. And then a lot of these answers are actually pretty similar to what I said in episode 186, where I answered the question of, do I really need a website? But they're a little different. So yeah. So number one, they are good for SEO. So including transcripts on your show notes or website is beneficial for search engines since at this time, they don't read your audio. By they, I mean search engines. So having a word-for-word transcripts of your episodes, you can give your episodes that SEO boost that you wouldn't get if you just had the audio. Number two, it makes your episodes easily accessible to those who can't or don't want to listen to podcasts, but would benefit from the content that you're sharing. So not everyone can or wants to listen to a podcast, but they may be interested in checking out your transcript. So give people that option. There are some totally free tools like otter.ai to transcribe. I like to use Descript as well. This is not a free tool, but I also use it in the editing process. So it's kind of a double win. There's plenty of other tools that you can use. I know Rev charges per word, maybe per minute, something like that. Don't quote me. I use Otter, and Otter has a free version. They also have a paid version, which is the one I use just because I have a lot of clients that we transcribe for. But yeah, you want to make sure that it's easily accessible to those who want to use it, whether that is someone who prefers reading, someone in the hearing impaired community, whatever that is. Don't make people jump through hoops to learn from you. That is like the biggest takeaway here is just be accessible to people and cater to them. It's not really that much more difficult to do that. And then number three, it makes it easier for you to repurpose your content down the line. So I don't know about you, but I don't have tons of time to be creating new content for every single platform that I'm on. So being able to take my podcast transcripts and quickly take what I said in those and turn them into a blog post, a Clubhouse room topic, some Instagram content, and more is super appealing to me. So we make sure to transcribe every single episode for both this podcast and my client's podcast. I actually don't have transcripts on my website right now. That is something that is going to change going forward, but I have been transcribing every single one. I just haven't put them on the website because they need to be edited, but it's something that's super important to me, something that I need to prioritize and will be prioritizing very soon. And we've always done this for our clients. We always put the transcript on the client's website in addition to having the blog post style show notes. So it's just very beneficial, and repurposing content is so important because you don't want to be in that hamster wheel of content creation all the time. So yeah, those are the top three reasons why having a transcript for your podcast is super duper important. But I know some of you guys listening, or all of you guys listening, may not already be transcribing your podcast and putting it on your website. And that's completely okay. It's not too late to start doing that. And really, to make it simple, I recommend starting with your upcoming episodes and then working your way backwards to transcribe your previous episodes over time so that you don't completely overwhelm yourself trying to get them all done at once. Because I know it can be a huge undertaking if you try to do it all at once. So that is my tip for you. And yeah, definitely let me know if you are already transcribing your episodes, if you plan to after listening to this episode, kind of what the deal is. Connect with me over on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Jenny Suneson, so JennySuneson. I'd love to chat with you over there. And that is it for today's episode. You can check out the show notes for this episode by going to savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com, and I will see you guys in the next episode.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast player like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Stitcher, and leave a review. You can find us at savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com and on Facebook at Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs and Instagram at Savvy Podcasting. Make sure to join our free Facebook community for podcasters by going to savvypodcastingforentrepreneurs.com/community and join in on the exclusive community just for Savvy Podcasting for Entrepreneurs listeners. I'll see you there.